Picture this. It is your birthday morning. Instead of confetti and brunch plans, you get up, brew your usual coffee, and head out the door like it is any other day. No special plans, no cake waiting on the counter. Why would someone choose to treat their own birthday like just another ordinary day? Some people treat their birthday like a national holiday. Think balloons, posts, the whole parade. Others, they treat it like just another Monday. No fuss, no fanfare. It is tempting to label those people as killjoys or assume they simply do not care. But genuine indifference is rare. There is almost always something deeper going on beneath that casual shrug. Maybe you are that person, the one who waves off the birthday song and says, "Seriously, just treat it like a normal day." Or maybe you know someone who does this. Either way, it raises a question. Why downplay the one day that's supposed to be all about you? Stick around, because the answer reveals a lot about emotional maturity, a bit about protection, and something deeply human we do not often admit. Let's start with a simple story. John just turned 30 and hasn't thrown himself a birthday party in over a decade. Ask him why, and he just shrugs and says, "It's just another day, not a big deal." But behind that casual answer lies a memory he doesn't talk about. On John's 18th birthday, he finally decided to host a celebration, hoping all his friends would come. 2 people showed up, and one of them left early. John ended that night sitting alone with half-melted candles on a cake meant for 20, feeling emptier than the room. In that silence, he quietly decided he would never put himself in that position again. John's story is not just bad luck. It is a classic case of the brain learning the wrong lesson. After that heartbreak, he started to believe that expecting a celebration only leads to pain. Psychologists have a name for this: learned helplessness. It is when disappointment happens so often that you just stop expecting good things altogether. By treating his birthday like any other day, John is not being apathetic. He is protecting himself. If he expects nothing, he will not be hurt when nothing happens. It's a bittersweet form of wisdom, a way of saying, if I don't hope, I won't be hurt. John would rather act like he doesn't care than risk caring and feeling that sting of disappointment again. Saying, "No big deal, I don't need anything," is easier for him than admitting he actually craved a little appreciation. He is not alone. Plenty of people quietly lower their expectations to 0 because it feels safer that way. Even pretending not to care is a form of caring. Now, not everyone who treats their birthday like a normal day is nursing old wounds. Some are simply caught up in the whirlwind of life. Think of the workaholic who spends their birthday in back-to-back meetings, or the student knee-deep in exam prep. The day isn't forgotten. It's just swallowed by other priorities. Psychologists sometimes call this time blindness. When you are so busy and mentally swamped that even a special day just blends into the routine. In other words, life moves so fast for them that they blink and the day is over before they've had a chance to even feel anything about it. Also, let's not overlook plain old personality. Not everyone is a social butterfly who wants a spotlight on them once a year. Some people are introverts who actually find big parties draining instead of fun. For them, keeping their birthday low-key isn't depressing, it's comfortable. A quiet day or a small hangout with a close friend is genuinely what they prefer. There is nothing wrong with that. It's just how some people are wired. In fact, they might even hide their birth date on social media to dodge the flood of obligatory wishes. It's not about sadness. It's just their style. And then there's the crowd who absolutely remember it's their birthday, yet still choose to keep it low-key. Not because they're lonely, not because they're busy. It's because they genuinely don't feel the need for any fanfare. This is actually a sign of emotional independence. They don't feel like they're missing out. If anything, they feel free. Think about it. If you don't rely on outside validation to feel good, then a birthday bash becomes pretty optional. In psychology, this ties into something called intrinsic motivation, meaning your drive and satisfaction come from within yourself. Those who have their self-worth rooted internally aren't sitting around waiting for a party to prove they're loved or important. They already know their value, cake or no cake. For these individuals, it's like they've unlocked a quiet secret to contentment. They think to themselves, I don't need anyone to prove my worth with candles on a cake. I already know it. It's not arrogance. It's a calm confidence in who they are. It's the kind of self-assurance that makes a birthday party feel completely optional. And here is the interesting part. People who treat their birthday like it's no big deal often have the same philosophy about life in general. They don't wait for a special occasion to enjoy themselves or feel grateful. They find little ways to celebrate being alive every day. A relaxing cup of tea on a quiet morning, a walk in the park at sunset. Those simple moments mean more to them than one obligatory cake-cutting ceremony once a year. They also tend to be the kind of people who aren't chasing the spotlight. In fact, they often prefer flying under the radar. They don't need a crowd singing happy birthday to feel valued. They quietly do their thing, content without the applause. There's a humility in that, and an unshakable self-assuredness that can actually be pretty inspiring. Even some famous figures fall into this low-key birthday camp. Take Oprah Winfrey, one of the most celebrated women on the planet, who basically treats her own birthday like any other day. She'd rather spend it honoring others or giving back than having a lavish party about herself. For her, turning a year older is not a reason to demand applause. That kind of perspective is grounded in humility and a sense that you don't need extra attention just for existing another year. For many people, birthdays shine a spotlight on the passage of time. Psychologists even have a phrase for being aware of your life over time. They call it temporal self-awareness. It's that weird jolt of realizing, whoa, I'm not getting any younger. Some downplay their birthdays partly to avoid that feeling. It's like saying, if I treat it as just another day, I don't have to confront the whole aging thing head on. And for those who have faced serious challenges, like overcoming an illness or loss, a birthday can feel more like a private victory lap than a party. They might mark it quietly in their heart, grateful to have made it, rather than turning it into a public celebration. By now, one thing is clear. Treating your birthday like a normal day is rarely about actual apathy. It's usually either a sign of emotional maturity or a form of emotional self-protection, or a bit of both. In other words, people either feel secure enough in themselves that they don't need the birthday hype, or they've been hurt enough in the past that they avoid the hype to stay safe. Emotional maturity in this context means you've grown enough to not seek external validation on a specific day. It looks like humility and self-reliance, kind of like Oprah focusing on others, or those folks who find meaning in ordinary Tuesday afternoons instead of one birthday blowout. Simply put, they don't need the birthday spotlight to know their worth. Emotional protection, on the other hand, is when downplaying your birthday is a shield. It's a defense mechanism to guard against disappointment. You tell the world and yourself, it doesn't matter. Because that way, if people forget or plans flop, it won't sting as much. Sometimes, these two motivations intertwine. Someone might start off downplaying their birthday as a protective measure after a bad experience. And over the years, it evolves into a genuine philosophy of, I'm fine without the fuss. Or a person who is largely emotionally mature might still carry a tiny protective shell just in case. Human motivations are rarely pure black and white. growth often comes with a bit of scar tissue from past wounds. But beneath both maturity and protection lies a common human hunger: the need to feel that we matter. Emotional independence doesn't erase our desire to be appreciated. It just means we don't beg for it. And emotional protection is often a mask over that same desire, covering a fear of not mattering to anyone. If we're brutally honest, even the person who says they don't want any attention on their birthday would feel a warm glow if someone sincerely showed they care. Because deep down, everyone wants to be seen. So why do so many of us hide that need? Because admitting, "I want to feel special today," can feel scary. It makes you vulnerable. If you say you care and no one shows up for you, that hurts a lot. It can even feel a bit childish or embarrassing to admit you want to fuss. So instead, you wrap your heart in a protective layer of, "I don't care." You decide it's safer to not want anything at all than to risk wanting and being let down. At this point, it's worth asking yourself, do you truly not care if your birthday comes and goes unnoticed? Imagine no one at all acknowledges it. No messages, no calls. Would you genuinely feel nothing? Or would a small part of you whisper, "Did I really not matter to them?" That little whisper doesn't make you weak or immature. It makes you human. You can be grateful for your life and still feel a pang of loneliness on your birthday. Those two truths can coexist. So, what do you do with this insight? You use it to take control of your own narrative. There's no one-size-fits-all rule for birthdays. You truly have the freedom to treat your birthday however you want, extravaganza or ordinary day, as long as it comes from a place that's true to you. If celebrating with cake in a crowd makes you happy, then by all means, celebrate. If ordering your favorite takeaway and watching a movie solo is more your style, that's perfectly fine too. There's no right or wrong here. What matters is that it's your choice, not society's expectations, not guilt, and not fear. I know someone who spends her birthday volunteering at an animal shelter every year. No party hats, no spotlight, just her doing something meaningful for others. That is her version of celebrating, giving back because it makes her feel connected and grateful. It might not look like a celebration from the outside, but to her, it's the most fulfilling way to mark the day. Another friend treats his birthday as an annual personal retreat. He takes the day off from work, switches off his phone, and just reflects. Journals about the past year, sets goals for the next. No cake, no clinking glasses, but still a quiet celebration of growth. That's the thing. A celebration doesn't have to look festive to be meaningful. The key is being honest with yourself about your why. If you keep your birthday low-key because you genuinely prefer it that way, then own it and enjoy it. But if you're avoiding celebration because deep down you feel you don't deserve it, or you assume no one else cares, gently challenge that thought. You do matter. You have the right to be acknowledged, if that's what you want. Don't let fear or past hurt be the only reason you hide from your own celebration. And if you discover that a part of you does want a bit of acknowledgement, it's okay to let that be known. Often our friends and family take our lead. If you've always said, "It's just another day," they might think you truly don't want any attention. There's no shame in saying, "I wouldn't mind a small get-together this year," if that's what your heart wants. Being open about it doesn't make you needy. It makes you authentic. Maybe we need to redefine what celebration really means. It isn't about the confetti or the number of presents. It's about acknowledging life. Celebration can mean recognition, gratitude, connection. You can have those in so many forms, big or small. It's not the outward show that matters. It's the meaning you give to the day. In fact, maybe treating your birthday like a normal day isn't about downplaying your life. Maybe it's about upplaying your everyday life. If every day matters to you, then of course your birthday will feel normal, because you've made normal feel special. That's a beautiful way to live. Finding meaning in ordinary moments, so no single day has to carry all the weight of your happiness. So the next time your birthday rolls around, think about what you really want. You could spend it quietly watching the sunrise, grateful for another year. You could throw a big gathering and celebrate loudly. Or maybe a little of both. Whatever you do, let it be what feels authentic to you, not what you think you're supposed to do. That's the real point here. If this video resonated with you in some way, consider dropping a like to let me know. And I'm genuinely curious. Do you treat your birthday like any other day? Have you felt those mixed emotions we talked about? Share your experience in the comments. Your story might even help someone else who reads it. You never know who might need to hear it. If you enjoy deep dives into the mind and life like this, join us by subscribing to the channel. There's a lot more to explore, and I'd love to have you on this journey. We have many more conversations about the human psyche and living a meaningful life. So stick around. Thank you for spending your time here with me today. Until next time, remember, your life is your story, and you have the pen. Celebrate it on your own terms. So here's to you. Make every day, even your birthday, truly your own.